Okay, go ahead.
Come up here.
No, I gotta regulate from here so you continue.
Ask Dan can take it. Miss Ivor, welcome to the house. Mhm. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What a great evening this evening of kindfulness and mindfulness. And I think it's a moment in time of our lives that we all could do with this. Being kinder, being more mindful of how we live our daily lives. Because we all want to be in a place of center and balance, feel good about ourselves, bring out the best of ourselves. And how do we do that? And the way that we can do that is by being kind to others. When we can exchange kindness to others, we can feel so amazing, because what kindness does is that not only you who are the person who you're the giver, but it is reciprocal. Because the other person on the other end is feeling the same thing, that amazing something. Because as Maya Angelou said, people never forget how you make them feel. And that is so significant, that is so important. And especially in the time of our life, at this time that we're living in, we can do with that. I'm sure we all can agree on that we can do with that. So this event today, which we've been so honored to have all of you in the room, and also we have Banty and
Another Bante.
another Banty. Another Banty. Let's give a round of applause. This is a great moment to be so honored, and that we have the two Banties who's bringing us a level of calmness, so that we can be in the month of October. Wow, the year went by so quickly. And this is the month of harvest. It's harvest season. So what we got to think about, what have you planted in the year of 2024 that brought you to this moment to reap? What are you reaping in this season? What are you harvesting? How did you nurture your soil that you got a good harvest? What have you done for others? Your kindfulness, your mindfulness, helping each other to live, showing love. Have you been practicing self-love for yourself? Because if we don't love ourselves, we can't love anybody else. We can't give love, we don't even know how to receive love. So today we want to talk to you and to let you know, choose you, love yourself. We wrote a book, Self-Care, because it is so important. Both of us are health coaches. My name is Joan Williams, who is health and wellness coach, and my sister, who is Karen Pascal. And we take the mission on. We studied at IIN, Integrated Institution for Nutrition, and we have learned so much about nutrition, about self-care, about your microbiome, because what you put in your body, that is who you become. So these are so much important things that you can think about and hold in that, because at the end of the day, this is your temple, and only you can take care of it. So choose you.
This moment is very monumental, I should say, because the thing is that myself and my sister, we came from the Caribbean, from a little country in South America called Guyana. And I remember when we came to the United States, you came to this big country and you don't really know where life is going to move you, where life is going to shift you. But we remain open
And humble.
remain open, and we trust the higher power, we trust our higher self, because that is what our grandmother and our mother taught us, that always trust yourself. Trust your intuition, that whatever is coming from the inside, that's the truth. And myself and Joan, as sisters, we trusted ourselves on this path. When we came, we started to work. Things start to shift. It was a little struggle at first because remember, you come to a new country, you don't know anything. You got to learn everything. And it was a bit struggle at first, but as Joan said to me, you got to learn it fast. Because she came before me, and she said, you got to learn this thing pretty fast. You're going to get lost on the train. You got to find your way back. You got to get it done. And I've learned, and I have allowed myself to navigate as I go along and allow people to help me as I go along. And this journey is about connection. It's about connection, and it's about the connection that you make with each other. Always value these connections, because these connections can always lead you to something else. And I remember one morning I woke up and I heard a download. It said that I'm going to meet people all over the world. And I asking myself, how is this going to happen? How am I going to meet people all over the world? And they said, we'll show you exactly how it's going to happen. So myself and Joan, we created groups on Facebook. And as we created the groups, we started to invite people to join these groups. And as people join these groups, we are able now to branch out now into a wide array of people. And that is how come we start to meet people. And okay, fine, we're meeting people now. What can we do to help these people? What's our mission? We work as hospice nurses, but you're saying the dying. What are we doing for the living? How can we help the living? So we said, you know what, we're going to go to integrative nutrition. We're going to educate ourselves further to understand the gut, understand the body. So we educate ourselves. We got our certificates. When you get a certificate, now what next now? So we said, you know what, we're going to create a podcast whereby we can educate people about themselves, about kindfulness, mindfulness, visualization, how to take care of yourself as an individual. And we started the podcast along with Tommy Thompson, who normally be behind the scenes, and we name it Soul, Light, and Body. So after we have the podcast now, how are we going to get people to come on the podcast? So we went to LinkedIn, and as we go to LinkedIn, we started get people off from LinkedIn and saw our mission. Once people see that you are on a mission for humanity, people will always be behind you. And we decided to reach out to LinkedIn, and we started to get people on LinkedIn to come onto the podcast. And Banty was one of the persons that I reached out to on LinkedIn. And he said to us, that was 2 years ago when we met him, he said to us, he said, we will be doing things in the future. That is what he said to us. We will be doing things in the future. And the future is here right now. Because you are here right now. Right? And as I said before, it's all about meaningful connections. Because we met Banty 2 years ago. And look the fruitfulness out from that connection that happened 2 years ago. So in life, you started off at one point, but you really don't know where you're going to head. But always be open. Be open, be receptive. Always open to learn new things. Because when you're open to learn new things, you will always find that things gonna come. Something's gonna come, it may not be for you, just let it go. You take what you need, and what you don't need, you just let it go. Because we are energies, and we are moving all the time. We are moving through this universe all the time. And we're gonna gather things as we move. What we don't want, it's gonna fall off. For instance, look at nature. Look what's happening right now in the United States. The trees, all the leaves are gonna fall off. So as we move through life, things that we need, we keep. Things that we don't need, we let them go. Because you know what? Come around spring, everything is gonna be fresh again. Sometimes in our life, sometimes we need to pull back, and we gotta know when to pull back. Because sometimes you need to go within. When we realize things are not working for us, we gotta go within. We gotta search ourselves and understand that whatever we are looking for is within us. It's inside of us. And once we could go in and get that inner wisdom that we are looking for, we can able to bring it out and to nourish the world, because that's what the world needs at this point in time. And you know what? The thing is that we are here for a reason and we are here for a purpose. And we need to value each step that we take on this journey here in life, because it's meaningful. Sometimes you may be going through something at this point in time and you may be asking yourself, why me? The question should not be why me. The question should be, what is this trying to teach me? What can I learn from this situation at this point in time? Because whatever is happening to you right now, that is what is going to propel you towards the future. So you gather all the stones, you gather all the tools that you need from this situation right now, because that is what is going to take you into the future. Yeah. We didn't get here just like this. We had to navigate, we had to walk through different things we walked through for us to arrive here. I remember one time in my life, I had to tell people, you know what? I'm not taking phone calls. I'm not replying to emails. This is my time. And however long it takes, do not ask me however long it's going to take, because I cannot answer that question. However long it takes, that is what I'm going to do for myself. So sometimes you got to pull back. And when, as I said, pull back, you got to pull back and you got to do you. It's not being selfish. It's being that you got to go within yourself. Because when you go within yourself, you emerge. And when you emerge as somebody who is new, somebody who could fill someone up. Because you got to fill yourself up before you can fill someone up. So this evening here, you are here. When you walk away from here, we want you to be filled. We want you to be filled that you could be running over, and the spill over now you can share it everybody you meet along the way in this journey called life.
Yeah. I just want to share a quick story. Many people might know and may not know, but I just want to talk something which is very important to dear to me and my family. I want to talk about resiliency. In the year of 2023, which a lot of people does not know, I was ill. I was hospitalized. Yeah. I was in intensive care unit. I don't know anything. A lot of people don't know that. And I'm not going to get into more detail of the story because it's going to be in the book, so you'll read more about it. But I want to talk about sisterhood, and I want to talk about family. I want to talk about my brother. My brother, he's not going to know, but I say brother, kind friends, Mr. Ivor here, and people who I'm now getting to know. But I was in a place that I had to choose when I came out of that situation, when I came out of intensive care. I had to choose, what do I want to do in this moment? How am I going to bounce back with purpose and redirect my life in a moment, and not to wallow in self-pity, but I want to rise. I want to rise, I want to stand strong, because I got good, great people around me that I can stand strong, firm-footed. My source, which is God, and that has anchored me and helped me to be strong. So I'm standing in this moment, coming from a space of hospitalization, coming of a space of the unknown, because I don't know what that would have been, coming out of what I've been through. But what I know for sure, the life I lived before that moment happened to me when being in the hospital, that is the moment that has gotten me through. Because as we spoke about planting seeds, so in my life and my journey with my sister, we always plant seeds, we always give love, kindness from little kids growing up. So when what I've been through in 2023, that moment, all my seeds that I planted together with my sister, that held me up when I didn't even know what I couldn't help myself. That helped me, that held me down. So it brought me into a space that I could come up and rise, and with the support of my sister, because in that moment she was not even where I was. My brother-in-law was there. He was not where I was, but he came. I went to their home. They nurtured me with love, kindness, and the cats. They cats, and they opened my home to me because I couldn't go back to my home because I was just recuperating and trying to repurpose my life. So I'm here in this moment and this time to talk about sisterhood, to talk about love. Our mom is not here. She's already transitioned. But what happened, what she had instilled in us, the level of value, the level of integrity, they're our true heroes because we are standing in this moment, right? To say we love them from beyond, and everything that they have instilled in us, the values, we are standing here representing them with love, kindfulness, and mindfulness. Thank you. We love you all. We're now going to toss the mic to
Matt.
Royce.
Royce is in the room, okay.
Royce, welcome.
Thank
Royce,
you.
the true awakener. Someone who is very amazing and changing life every day. Welcome, Royce.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be here. Wow. What an amazing little talk you guys just gave. Wow.
Go right ahead.
Go right ahead, Royce. The mic is
floor
yours.
We tossed the mic.
Okay, great.
Now, what are you wearing?
The acoustics are really bad. I'm kind of hearing echoes, so I'm just going to jump right in. And given the fact that you amazing two women gave me 10 whole minutes to talk, I'm just not used to getting anything kind of boiled down to 10 minutes. So I'll do my best. But anyway, thank you again. And I love the word kindfulness. I don't know if you guys invented it, but it's just a perfect word. So, I'm looking at that. Yes, I'm seeing you pointing. And she's walking. He invented that. Okay, good job. I love it. I love words. I'm kind of like a word nerd. So anyway, let me just first of all say I could talk for days about kindfulness and mindfulness, these two topics. And I actually do in my Perfect Life Awakening courses. I really spend a lot of time on it because it is so important. But since I only have 10 minutes and I've already wasted 2 of them, let me talk about kindfulness first. So to be kind or full of kindness, you must be full of kindness for yourself. And I'm apologizing for that cliche. But you know, the other cliche is you can only love yourselves to the degree that you love. You can only love others to the degree that you love yourself. So that is a very true cliche, just like the kindfulness one. And if you shift a word or two, you can only be kind to others to the degree that you're being kind to yourself. It really goes hand in hand. But the problem is a lot of people don't even realize that they're not being kind to themselves, which also really means loving and accepting yourself. And really and truly, what you are here to do, what we are here to do, is to reach the point where we love and accept ourselves. And that might sound easy, but it's probably the biggest challenge that we've got. It's a spiritual lesson. It's the lesson that we're here to learn and teach to others. So maybe you do some self-care, you take a spa, or you go out to dinner, you get your hair done, whatever it is that you do that you think is self-care. But that's not really self-care. That's just kind of superficially being kind to yourself. The deep, profound, real kindness, again, also known as love and acceptance, is possibly the biggest challenge that we face as humans. Kindness starts and ends with having compassion for all those unwanted, scary, scared parts of ourselves, all the emotions that we judge as bad or negative and we try to suppress. Kindfulness, real kindfulness, allows for the space for grief and for sadness and for anxiety and for suffering and heartbreak and joy. Think of kindness like you would a little baby that just wants to be held and nurtured and protected. So that's what it's about for us. But the thing is about kindfulness, that word is just not rolling off my tongue yet, but think about it. It can't be faked. We can try to fake it, but it just won't work. Authentic kindfulness means remembering who you really are, getting in touch with the subconscious guilt, there's that word, that we're carrying around, and cleaning it up, also known as karma, which is why we're here, to clean up and balance out and complete all those things we haven't done in, hundreds of lifetimes? And once we do that, once we have cleaned up our past, we're able to feel full self-acceptance. Now, when I tell my students that, they all go, because it does sound kind of scary and kind of confrontational and kind of big, and it is. But what ends up from it is that we start to really feel authentic self-kindfulness, and then we can be authentically kindful, full of kindness for others, authentically. And yes, it's deep. Yeah. The problem with all those things that we feel guilty about is they go into our subconscious mind. We don't remember them, or at least we don't think we remember them. They're all in there, but they've been suppressed and denied and pushed down and all of that stuff. Maybe we've been told, maybe we've rationalized them, or we've made excuses for them. Maybe you've done some spiritual bypass work where you just go, all's good. But you can't lie to the universe. It won't work. It's there. It needs to be completed and done. And until you remember those things that you've done that you believe have caused pain or loss, you'll be acting like you care about others, pretending to be concerned, performing in all kinds of ways. But most of the time, you'll actually be faking it, and you won't be making it. So it's might be a really difficult concept to accept, but the only one that you truly care about is yourself, really. But the problem is you probably don't even really care about yourself, because you've got that part of you that believes that you don't deserve. Why? Because you've done all those things in the past that you've suppressed and you feel guilty about. So all that subconscious guilt, I can't accept myself, but I'm here to accept myself, and I can't do it. So let's just fake it, and let's pretend to care about others and pretend to care about ourselves and do those spa days, etc. So a lot of times what happens from all that is that all that lack of self-kindness gets covered up, and you overcompensate by appearing to care for others. Look at me, I'm so caring. Look at all these things I'm doing. I'm so wonderful. But what happens is, because you're faking it, you're not going to attract real kindness to you. So whatever you put out there, you get back if it's coming from a real, authentic place. Now, I don't know if you heard my talk with these ladies about mirroring, but I spent 2 hours talking to them about mirroring. And that's a really good example of what mirroring is. So let me explain mirroring for those of you that didn't hear my little 2-hour chat. So understanding mirroring is probably the greatest mindfulness tool that you will ever have. It's amazing. And so what is mirroring? Here's the shortened version, and I know Joan and Karen love when I give my example. Mirroring is like a seesaw. You've got this seesaw. If you push down one side of the seesaw, the other side will always come up. And that's what energy is. If we're pushing down one side of ourselves or pushing down our anger, the other side comes up somewhere in our universe. So I walk down the street and everybody's angry at me, or people cut me off on the freeway, or whatever it is, because they're showing me that I'm pushing something down. And I can give you hundreds of examples, but I only have 10 minutes. So that's the short version. So if I'm pushing down my fear, my guilt, my anger, whatever it is, it's going to come up somewhere in my universe. So in terms of kindfulness, if you're pretending to be kind, but you'd much rather be rude and you'd much rather tell them where to go, that's what's going to come up. So why is no one kind to me? Because I'm really not authentically being kind to them, because I'm pushing something down, and that's what gets mirrored. So maybe, again, everybody's rude to me. People are in my relationships are not giving to me. I never get what I want. And yet I walk around whining, but I'm so kind. Why is nobody kind? Why is nobody kind out there? So the good news is mirrors are our best teachers. They really are. They accurately show you whatever you're in denial of, and they reflect what you need to see about yourself so that you can heal it. You can't heal something if you don't see it, if you don't know that it's there. And why do we need to heal it? So we can grow and evolve and be these amazing higher consciousness people that we really are. So, in order to be an authentic higher consciousness being, mindful and truly caring about others, which is why we are here, we have to address what we're in denial of. And yes, it is a lot. I get that. I really do. And of course, it's not your first rodeo here. So the biggest denial, and this is what I talk about over and over and over again in my courses, the biggest denial we have is how undeserving we really believe that we are. It's the core of everything. It's all of our issues, why we don't manifest what we want, why we walk around trying to be mindful, but we keep hitting dead ends, why we're so easily triggered. So how can we really be mindful if we're so busy suppressing parts of ourselves, pushing down our seesaw? It just doesn't work. And yeah, it's scary to admit those parts, especially because we've probably spent lifetimes denying them. And we've been taught in our culture that it's always somebody else to blame. So when we're pissed, if we're hurt, if we're not successful, we always have something out there that we can blame. But once you start seeing and admitting those parts of you that have been suppressed, once you can even slightly see what's being reflected to you, mindfulness happens naturally, and kindfulness becomes who you really are. And you start to look at the bigger picture. You start to see the perfection, the divine perfection in everything that happens and everything that hasn't happened. And you realize that if this didn't happen, if this person didn't reflect this to me, I wouldn't have gotten that lesson. I wouldn't have seen the depth of myself. And most importantly, you would not have been given the perfect mirror that you needed to see. And once you start seeing that on some level you've chosen everything that happens in your life, especially mirrors, because you really want to wake up, it's all about the lessons. It's all about cleaning up your past. It's all about empowerment that will happen from that. So here's my suggestion. I don't know if I still have any more time left. I've been talking, but here's my suggestion. Make a commitment to be mindful of whatever you are attracting in your life that pushes your buttons. Because the rule of thumb about mirrors is if something pushes your buttons, it's showing you a mirror. Always. There's no doubt about it. Something is showing you a mirror if your button is pushed. And commit to immediately ask yourself, what's the mirror here? What are they showing me about myself that I'd rather not admit? What are they reflecting to you that you're hiding, suppressing, denying because you think it's bad? Sometimes what gets mirrored is also kind of like symbolic. Like, for example, maybe you have a friend who's addicted to drugs, and it just really pushes your buttons to see what they're doing to themselves. Okay, so what's the mirror? Well, I don't do drugs. Well, the mirror could be, wow. Anyway, the mirror could be what that thing symbolizes to you. Maybe it symbolizes I'm addicted to keeping my house clean, or I'm addicted to chocolate chip cookies, or whatever it is. So it can also be symbolic. So make that commitment and really keep that commitment to yourself. And it is really interesting because what happens is once you spot what's reflected to you, you instantly feel more compassion for that person. The anger dissipates. You don't judge them anymore. You see them as, oh, wow, you and I are the same. Okay. And you still need to do the deep work about it, but the button is gone. you actually might even feel grateful for the gift that they're giving you of awakening to yourself. So again, keep in mind that you are attracting mirrors to be your greatest spiritual teacher. That's the most important spiritual teacher in your life, especially people that you're close to, the relationships that you have, the children, the parents, all of those people are your greatest spiritual mirroring awakeners. So thank them because they're your heroes. And go and be kindful and mindful for real and deserve that. And thank you so much, Karen and Joan. I think I might have gone over my 10 minutes, but thank you.
We're gonna pass the mic now to Matt.
So the mic is being passed to Matt now.
All right.
Where is Matt? Here is
There he
Matt.
is. That works.
Good evening, Karen and Joan.
Hi, welcome, Matt.
Thank you, my miracle sisters. It is a real honor and privilege to have known you just for a short length of time, but to have been impacted and instructed and helped and guided in many respects by you and many of the guests that you have on this evening. It's a real privilege for me to be here and back in New York, even if half of my head is missing in my video cast to you. So you asked me to talk, much like everybody else you have asked to talk about mindfulness and kindfulness. And when you sent the PDF that you talked about that in, you talked about the transformative power of kindfulness and mindfulness. And what does that transform into? For me, that transforms into successfulness. So I wanted to add that word in. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about mindfulness and what many of us are mindful of. Some things we are mindful of, other things do not impact us, and we may not be as mindful of them. But I just wanted to bring those things to the fore. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about kindfulness and what that action is all about and how that can take mindfulness to the next level. Kindfulness of being able to do something to make a change. And then what comes from that, which is that successfulness word, the success of us being mindful of ourselves and other people and our whole community, whether that's here in England in a small city where I live, through to giant metropolis like New York, through to the world itself. So let's get on, because I only have a few minutes and I wanted to be as brief as possible. So some of the things that we as people may be mindful of currently, things like the unhoused and those living in severe poverty, those who are ill, people with chronic diseases and things that are getting worse in the sense of their illnesses, those in food poverty and food insecurity, those who are fighting on the front lines in countries around the world for things like democracy and freedom. Yet even more so the innocent people in those war-torn areas that lose their lives or are injured physically and mentally. We're mindful of these things. The many countries where women, children, the poor, the physically and mentally challenged, and many others face adversity and prejudice. Those who are addicted to poisons and toxins, those who are addicted to technology, or even the sugar that is in food, who are enslaved en masse to the addictive nature of many of the things that, number one, we get told are important for us, and other things that are not. Yet those often poisonous impacts have big impacts on our health. We think that they are good for us. Certainly in some ways they are, but in others, maybe we're mindful that they are not. Then we think about our electoral systems and what's coming in the United States. There, New York, fast approaching elections that in some of our most powerful countries are soon to take place. We're mindful of that because it's in front of us and on the news or in our feeds on those technological devices. And then we think about those elections and we think that we may be looking at one side of who may win or the other side. And those that should really value our freedom, our uniqueness, our wants and desires as a society, a particular country that's voting for a leader, our security even, or even our value ourselves, our uniqueness. And yet sometimes we look at that, whichever side of the fence you are on about which political party, and those people often appear to care less about the important things for us and more about the important things for them. These are things that we are mindful of, things that impact us, both personally and as society. But we can do differently. We can change. We can change the world. And we can do that through kindfulness as one of the important pillars of doing that. We can solve homelessness and the housing crisis as a whole. We can provide low cost, in some instances, free preventative solutions and treatments that do not addict or cause increasingly bad side effects for our chronically ill family and friends and communities. We can find better, more sustainable food outputs for those who are hungry in our communities, perhaps providing things like fruit on fruit trees in our streets that our children walk down to their school or their college, so that then those children, instead of going to the shops, the convenience stores, the petrol stations, garages to buy candy or sodas, they can eat that fruit to help them, to nurture them, to be kind to themselves as we are kind to them. We can enact peace in our time, true peace, because I very strongly believe, and I hope that everybody in this room and that will be speaking today, they really want peace. Hold our leaders, our elected leaders in our democracies, as we responsible and accountable, as we provide our truth rather than what we get told is the truth. We're not interested in being mindful of what other people's truths are. If we understand what our truth is, we understand that that is much more kind, and we can give that truth to our children, our community, our world. And not just our children, but the children of our communities. Not just our community in the Western world, but our community everywhere, the whole world. So that then our whole world can see life in a kinder, more meaningful way. And people, children from our families and our communities to our enemies, children, none of them in the future in peace would need to pay the cost of war for the few by the shedding of their blood in the battlefield, or just as they go about their lives and get injured or killed through those things. How kind would it be to save those people and not have them die in our future from war? Another thing that we could be kind about is to just embrace our fellow brothers and sisters, our fellow human beings. Treat everybody as equals. See the value in each other, not the concerns or the mistrust. And sure, we need to protect ourselves from those that would harm us. But surely if we all were kinder, there would be less harm. There would be more honesty. There would be more of that truth. There would be more giving. There would be more kindness, both giving and receiving of it. We need to focus on our uniqueness and our individual miracles, and then we need to bring them together and work together and exercise that kindness, not just to ourselves, but to everybody else. And in doing so, we will receive much more kindness back. And our mindfulness will move away from the drudgery and the bad things that exist in our world. And instead, potentially, we can live a much more joyful and, I don't know, successful life. Anyway, we could provide a world where interacting with real people is the most valuable thing, not the technology that connects us. We can know better experiences and enjoy healthy and more abundant lives filled with love with our family, our children, our community, and the world. We could realize the world through our actual truths, so that then we have community leaders that truly work for our communities, the communities that they represent, the community not just local but global, with leaders who are held accountable because they are kind and wish to do the best thing for other people in kindness. Those that seek to protect ourselves from difficulties in the world.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Matt. That was truly amazing.
Thank you so much. One word I like what you spoke about, live the abundant life. And I think all of us, our desires is to live the life of abundance. Be kind to each other, show love. And there is where we practice mindfulness and kindfulness to each other. And when we can give that, that is the most beautiful thing we can ask for. So Matt, we thank you for your time being here in this moment. Thank you. Thank you so much. Be blessed. We're now going to toss the mic to the video that we have from someone who is so amazing, so special. We had a chance to meet with him in New York City 2 weeks ago. And he's all the way from Portland, Oregon. And we had an amazing time with him. And so we will share his video now. We love him dearly. He's very special to us. We've been on his show. He's been on our show. So we just want to show him love, kindness, and mindfulness in this moment.
To be with you today. Thanks to my friends Joan and Karen who asked me to come speak with you today. A little bit about the power of perspective, living a life filled with hope. You know, I love this whole concept, and we're going to dive right in because our time is really, really short, but I am so thankful that you're here today. Let's get this thing going. Here we go. All right. So first of all, welcome here today. I know that you've already been welcomed 100 times, but I'm just so thankful that I'm here and that you're here. You know, it's true that laughter is the best medicine. I know I'm not with you today, but here's what I want you to do. I want everybody to stand up. Go ahead. Come on. No matter where you are, everybody stand up. Okay, here we go. Laughter is truly the best medicine. And I tell you, your body doesn't know whether you're faking laugh or whether you're really, truly laughing because it all becomes pretty real after a while. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to start off by taking a big, deep breath in with me. Are you ready? In through the nose, out through the mouth. Here we go. Very good. Oh, I'm feeling good already. Let's do it one more time. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Now, this time, when we do it, we're going to breathe in and we're going to go, when we come out. Are you ready? Are you smiling? Okay, here we go. Get that smile on. Here we go. Breathe in. Oh, my goodness. I'm feeling so good. So this time, we're going to breathe in. We're going to hold it for 5 seconds, and then we're going to laugh hysterically for 10 seconds. Now, If you're having trouble with that, just look at your neighbor. You should have no problem. So here we go. Everybody breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my goodness. I love that. I love that. Oh, everybody, just take another deep breath. Thank you so much. Have a seat. Man, I tell you, that makes me feel good from head to toe. And I hope it does you too, because laughter gives you a great perspective right off the bat when you smile and laugh. Here's a little bit about me. I just want to tell you 4 main things about me. Number 1, I'm a Christ follower. Number 2, I'm the husband of a beautiful, gorgeous woman. And I am the dad of 2 amazing children and a cancer survivor. In fact, still battling with that, but surviving and believing in life every day. Here is my beautiful wife. She is gorgeous. Here is my outstanding, amazing family, my daughter, my son, and my daughter-in-law, and my beautiful wife. Here is my amazing parents who gave me the perspective I have today. So I'm going to shoot through this real quick. So hello, a chance to actually view Happy Moments with Mama, hashtag Happy Moments with Mama on YouTube. You should. It will make you smile, but we're going to skip that today. And I'm going to tell you, how do you live your best life today through challenges? Because we all have them. We're all going through something. I happen to be going through a cancer journey. You may be going through family issues, another health journey, something, right? But you need to make every moment count. Every moment. Time is non-refundable. You need to use it with intention. That is such a great quote. I love that. You know, I'm a big proponent on morning routine, and I believe you should start your day right. In fact, I believe if you don't have some kind of morning routine, you should. It's a great way to get your day started right and give you a good start to a good perspective. I love this quote in Psalms that says, "Let me hear of your unfailing love each morning, for I am trusting you. Show me where to walk, for I'm giving myself to you." I believe that every day. I believe that God is the one showing me the way to go, and I truly believe that. Okay. One of my favorite phrases and the title of my upcoming book, Life Happens and Then You Choose. All the time, life is happening. Is it happening for you or to you? That is a decision you have to make. Ed Milet and Tony Robbins would tell you life happens for you, not to you. And I believe that. I believe that everything happening in your life is happening for you and for your benefit and growth, not to you. So everybody say that with me. Are you ready? Life happens and then you choose. Say it now. Life happens and then you choose. That's right. It is so true. It is so, so true. I love this. Life is a matter of choices. John Maxwell says, and every choice you make makes you. So true. My story, very short, is that I was diagnosed with melanoma, invasive melanoma that became metastatic and went from my foot to my groin. Now, after surviving the first round and then getting rid of the cancer, it's gone from my groin to my lungs to my brain. And it is something I am dealing with right now, stage 4 cancer. But you know what? I am choosing a good life. I am choosing a good perspective. That is what perspective is all about, is what you choose. And I tell you, I value and love life every moment of the day. Thankful for good doctors, thankful for good community, thankful for my amazing, beautiful wife and my family and all the support of my family and friends. It is so amazing. I have learned through this journey to keep moving forward with hope. God gives me hope every day to be thankful for what I do have, not for what I don't have, to live life with purpose. And I've learned that my circumstances don't define who I am or what I can do every day. That is so important. I believe that you can hope expecting a miracle. That is my perspective. I have hope and I'm expecting good things to happen. I'm expecting a miracle. You know, I love this. Chuck Swindoll says, I'm convinced that life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% of how I react to it. It's really true because life is happening. How are you reacting? What are you choosing to do from there? Perspective is everything when you are experiencing challenges in life. And I tell you, that's Johnny Erickson Tata, who is a quadriplegic and is living a beautiful and productive and God-believing life. And she is an amazing woman if you don't know who she is. I am choosing that hope perspective every day. So my question for you is, what is your perspective? What is your perspective? Think about that. I want to give you just a moment. Think about what is your perspective on life. Every day you wake up, why do you get up? What is the perspective that drives you forward? It's a very important question. So say it with me again. Here we go. Life happens and then you choose. That's right. Every day life is happening all around us and we are choosing. Do you know that you make over 35,000 choices every day? The average human makes over 35,000 choices every day. A lot of those are subconscious, but a lot of those are very conscious. So it's really important what habits we develop. I believe you need to live life with passion. What are you passionate about? What do you love to do? And you need to live life with purpose and on purpose. That's right, with purpose and on purpose. I tell you, get out there today. I want to encourage you to choose hope. Believe that good things are going to happen. I choose joy every day of my life. I am thankful for the joy of the Lord that is my strength. And I am so thankful for being with all of you here today. I choose people. I believe that we're better together. We are all better together. And I would love for you to get in touch with me today because I plan to live the life I choose. And I'd love to talk to you more about living the life you choose because it's truly, truly up to you. Here is my contact information. You can go to russhedge.com today to get all the information about me. My email is russ@russhedge.com. There's my phone number, 971-209-8185. Would love to get in touch with you. Russhedge.com is really the easiest place to go. Here is information about my books available. They're all available at russhedge.com, or you could go to Amazon or any online booksellers. Amazing, amazing opportunities that I've had to write these books. So love for you to do that. Love to give you just a happy little ending for today. And then we're going to wrap things up because this is just so amazing. Here we go. Woo. Come on, put them together. That is it. I love it. I love it. I love the opportunity to be with you here today. And I want to thank each one of you for giving me that opportunity. Remember, russhedge.com is a place to get in touch with me. Thank you, Joan and Karen, for letting me be here today. Bless all of y'all. Have an amazing day.
All right.
Thank you, Russ. It's truly amazing. Such an inspirational words that you give us this moment. Hope, optimism. And we have the opportunity to choose at the end of the day what we want to do and what we want life to be for us. Whatever we might be encountering in the moment in time, what are we going to choose? What are the decisions we're going to make? What are we going to decide to do in that moment? And we have that choice. So this moment, if you any of your takeaway from this segment here, decide what you're going to choose. We're in the month of October. What are you choosing to end strong with? What are you using to end strong with in 2024 and launch into 25 solid, strong? Believe in yourself because you got what it takes to make whatever you're thinking about happen. Tap in, lean into your inner wisdom because you have that. So we're going to toss the mic now to Zion.
Zion in the room.
This is an amazing guy who speaks a lot about positivity and to reach all the corners of the earth.
I don't
Such
see
a joy.
Zion as
Is he in the
yet. I don't see Zion.
Is Steve in the room?
So let's. He's here.
Stephen.
Oh, Stephen, are you ready to bless us?
I am. Thank you.
Welcome, Stephen.
Joy, thank you for being here with us. We tossed in the mic to you.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to just thank everyone that's in this room because when we bring our awareness, when we bring our focus on something that's relevant, that's important, it changes the world. And I think that we can make a more, a more kind, a more joyful, and a more loving world by becoming more aware of it, by seeing what is going on in the world. And there's so much beauty. I know that it's easy sometimes to get lost in what's wrong, but the thing is we're all connected, and what is wrong is often the very thing that will elevate us to having the most meaningful, the most connected, the most loving life. You'll appreciate life more when you've gone through a little bit of darkness and come out strong, when you've come out choosing to be a different way. And there's just 5 points that I want to make with this. And it's, we have a power within us that will give meaning to our life. It's a perception, it's a way of being, it's something that's always there. And part of this, the second point, is you are enough just as you are. Even though we're on this journey of growing and changing, we are perfect in our imperfection. And the third point is, when you connect to yourself, to your true self, life will change. You'll see people differently, you'll experience life differently, and you will achieve differently. And the fourth point is, you're discovering, you're like a little child. We're all like little children discovering what it is we're discovering in this experience, this human experience. Be kind to yourself, right? Make mistakes. Be free and okay to be who you are and to learn along the way. And the last point that we'll talk about is, the way you desire to live is within your grasp. Become self-aware. Understand your mind. Choose to love, choose to be who you are. But more importantly, the way that you feel about life, that's already within you. You can already have the life that you desire within you just by changing the way that you give meaning to things, the way that you perceive things, and filling your life with mindful gratitude to actually be grateful for where you're at and the improvement that you're making. So let's go back and talk about this first idea. And it's just about embracing this power that's within us. It's my belief that we live on this spectrum of understanding, and part of it is this human experience. And I want to explain that this human experience, and my cat also has something to say if you can hear her, but she's it's this idea that this egoic experience, this human perception of life, it's fragile. We will die one day, and I think from an egoic perspective, that is something that terrifies us. But it's not incomplete who we are. In that place of egoic, understanding, that egoic state of being, we're separate, we're weak, we're inferior, that time is fragmented and we don't know. But along this way that we go, hi Russ, we have this other perception of being, which is that all time is connected together. It condenses now to just one moment of mindfulness. We are connected to all that is. And along with this, we have no fear of death. We have no fear of being wounded or diminished or being made less than, because in that state of being, we are perfect and we're connected to everyone else. There's no judgment. There is just only acceptance in that place. And that is a place of perception that we all have within us. And we just need to invite it in. It's my belief that that state of perception is so kind and so mindful that it would not deny us any human experience. There will be consequences for any action. There'll be consequences for any words or anything that we do. But most importantly, it's a chance to experience life in its fullest. And if we're talking about a state of essence, a state of being where we're connected with all, we're actually all part of the same understanding, there's no real judgment. There is consequences, but we learn in that process. And sometimes the most beautiful things can come out of what may not seem like it. And so now we go to the second point. It's this idea of you are enough just as you are. We're on this journey of awakening. We're on this journey of understanding. And once we embrace that we don't need to have the answer, we don't need to be a genius or have everything understood. When we just embrace this beauty of life, we can start making connections with other people. And that's when we'll actually connect to that significance of who we are. We'll actually be viewed and seen in a more understanding, a more kind way. And when we do that, those connections are meaningful. And you'll also become aware of the connections that are more or less, I guess it would be less skilled, when those connections may be more fear-driven or lack-driven. And you can choose whether you want to make a connection in that space or not. But it allows you to actually be in a more kind and loving place for yourself. And when I talk about this, it's, connecting to your true self, this third point, that life will change. At the darkest hour of my life, I was actually choosing, the thoughts that I was having were tied into someone had violated my sense of what was right and wrong. They were saying things that were untrue. And I didn't know the outcome. I didn't know what my future path would hold. And it got so bad that I thought I might actually go to jail for something that I never did. And this was being projected by somebody that I thought loved and cared for me. And when something like that enters your space, it scares you. And what I found from that space is my thoughts linked to a feeling, and it worked up into such a level of self-reinforcing experience that I just had to let it go. I got to a point where I could no longer live that way. And when I let it go, when I said, you know what, I can't live this way, and every possibility will cross your path of, even self-harm comes across as, okay, what can I do here to end this pain? What I decided was, I'm just going to take this critical part of me and set it to the side. I say I gave it a holiday, I gave it a vacation, but really I fired it. I said, you're doing a terrible job. This critical voice that we carry within us, the self-judgment, all of that thought, the shame, the guilt, all of that, it's something that we carry ourselves, and we can let that go. And what I did is I brought in love and light. And when I brought in that, I was amazed, because there were two things that happened. One, there's a shift that we experience within our energy, right? When you bring in true love and kindness and put that as the core of your being, all of a sudden you have this egoic sense, that part of you that's fearful. And I expected some pushback. I expected this idea of, oh, it's not a good idea, But no, there was just reverence and awe for this power that we carry within us. Some people call it, the spirit. There's different words for it. Some people call it the Holy Spirit. Some people call it God. Some people call it self, the universe, the soul. The point is when we connect to that energy, it is so powerful and so strong that everything else is at peace. There's no judgment. There's no judgment of any critical talk. There's no judgment of anyone else that's flawed. And we accept people for where they're at. We view them in a loving, kind way. And if we can connect to that energy, I think that we will have a better life experience. But more importantly, you allow other people to live the experience that they're living. And as we're doing this, we're on this path of discovery. We are like little children learning to walk. I wrote a book. It's a anthology with several other authors. It's Beyond Boundaries, Thriving in Life's Gray Zone. And it's this idea that we learn boundaries, and it's creating the path forward and learning as you go. So the last part is embrace this power within you. Embrace the idea that you can become self-aware. And the best way to become self-aware is to not ask why things are the way they are. If you're triggered, if something happens, just ask yourself, why am I feeling, or what am I feeling? What is the experience that I have? And just go into that moment and notice that physical expression. So the point I would like to leave you with, and thank you so much for this opportunity, be okay with wherever you're at. If you know that something's missing, you don't need to know the answer of how to fix it. Just be brave enough to take one step forward. And you might make a mistake, but you might make a choice that leads you to something new. And that journey is amazing. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve. You're always amazing. You always drop in so much of gems for us that we can have great takeaways, how we can live life with purpose and be on point. And I could be talking about boundaries, which is so important, because we got to set those boundaries for our well-being so we can live and thrive and be our best. We honor you, we thank you, and thank you for your time, for being here to share with us this evening.
toss the mic now
We will now
to
toss
Monica.
an amazing woman, somebody who is so special and have so much gems still to share with us, and going to give us great takeaways. Thank you for being here, Monica.
Welcome, Monica.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Perfectly.
Okay, great. Good. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome, and thank you for having me. It's a delight to be here. I've been on a spiritual path since 1989 when I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and my life really took a dive all of a sudden, and I had no idea what happened to me. And then what happened, I kept asking this question, and I went into therapy and I went to doctors, and I didn't take medication because I knew that wouldn't be the answer, thankfully. But I really started searching. What is it? What is it that makes me so afraid? Like, where does fear come from? And that was my big question. And no one seemed to have the answer. Not the therapists, not the priests, not the doctors. And I was shocked by that. And it made me go deeper. It made me really get on my knees and ask, someone must know, because I can't live like this, because I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating very well, and I was having to go to work 9 to 5 in the tech field. And I just felt this incredible sense of despondency. And then someone showed me this book called A Course in Miracles, and I started to read it, and I started to listen to what it's telling me. I was in a state of receptivity because of the pain. The pain was so great in my mind that I started to really take it in, right? I was like, I'll do anything. Read a lesson every day? Sure, no problem. And I read the lessons of the workbook, which is the second part of the course. It's a methodology that teaches you how to train your mind to free yourself from fear and anxiety and depression and everything else, all the conditioning that we've been subjected to as human beings. It can be undone in this course. And it actually is the blueprint for the awakening of human Homo sapien to Homo illumina, which is our next phase of the species, is to awaken to the truth that we are enlightened beings already. We just forgot. And so I got very excited because as I was started to do these lessons and started to read the text, I became more happy and more free. And within a couple of months, I was elated. And I think I just turned 30, and my mind just kind of went into this other state of peace and joy. And it wasn't constant. Like, I still had fears and I still had things that I was working through. But there was this constant sense that there was hope for this, from me, for my mind, for my life, and I wasn't going to die. I wasn't going to get cancer and die, which is what I kept thinking. If it got really bad, I didn't want to be here. But so this opened up my mind to the truth. And what the truth is that you have never been separate from God. You are whole, you are complete, and there's nothing missing. It's just that you forgot. And so you have to go through a process of remembering who you are. So the Course says there's no way we can teach you the meaning of love, because it's beyond what can be taught. It's an experience. And what we can do is remove the blocks to the awareness, your awareness of love's presence, which is already here within you. It's your true self. It's your higher self. Just as Jesus taught us, right? That you are the light of this world and the kingdom is within you. That is literal. It's a literal truth. And so as I was reading and I was bringing this whole new thought system into my mind, I kept getting happier and happier. And then I had a couple of kids and became a mom, and, just things in my life just got happier. And I was married at the time. And at one point I realized there has to be more, because even as you're training your mind and you're doing the work daily, nothing wrong. That's important, because a lot of us have lost track of what's really true within us. And we do need to train the mind, because the mind is where all the crazy thoughts are, right? So in order to not live in the crazy, we have to learn to access the truth, which is inside of you as well. And over time, you become happier and freer, and you realize, oh, it's just because I'm doing a course that's healing my mind without me even realizing how. So I don't teach a lot of methods. The method is already given, so I don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's done. It's a matter of applying it. And so I have a course called The First 50 Lessons, and I brought this about in the last couple of years, 5 years or so, because I realized a lot of people have heard of A Course in Miracles. They may have read Marianne's book called A Return to Love, Marianne Williamson, but that's not the course. And so I had this real promise to my Savior to actually teach this course because it is the way out. If you want to have an enlightened experience, it is a way to actually do that. And it just requires that you have about 20 minutes a day to go within, to do a lesson and to free your mind. And I've taught this course to so many people, and with amazing results, because our minds are not really the problem. The problem is that we've forgotten that they are powerful, and that every belief that we hold gives us a result. So our cause is a belief, and the result is the experience that we get from believing that thought. So if you've ever done anything about mind training, you'll know that what I'm saying makes sense. Your thoughts create your reality. They create your experience. I wouldn't necessarily call it reality if it's negative, or if it's fearful, or if it's guilt-ridden, or if it's anxiety-ridden. That's not reality. That's your perception. So I want to distinguish that for you. It'll save you a lot of time to realize that reality has nothing to do with your anxiety and your perception and all the stuff that we've made up. Reality is actually whole and complete and perfect as God created it. Okay? Wholeness, love, peace, joy, perfection. That's the truth. That's reality. And as you begin to undergo this experience through whatever means you choose, I just happened to choose the course, and because it was so laid out for me in black and white, in English, and I was astounded by the profundity of it. This is an actual course in the awakening? What? And it arrived here in the 1960s, and the mind that channeled it through is Jesus of Nazareth. What? It really was so astounding. And I had, at the time, given up my faith because I had been raised Catholic, and I didn't want that. I didn't want an established religion. And I had also been molested by a priest, so that didn't help. But it was really that I knew there was something to this course because I got happy. And a voice started speaking to me. So you'll have these experiences as you do it. Miracles will happen. You'll start to feel this incredible sense of peace, because peace comes from knowing who you are and what you're here for. And that if you have a purpose here, which of course you do, or you wouldn't be here, it has to have something to do with being free, wouldn't you say? It has to have something to do with love, with freedom, with knowing that you have choice and that you have the power of your mind to heal your thought system, to release the thought system that's causing all this chaos that we see in the world right now. It's not going to get any better until we do this work, until we each take this on and know that my thoughts I'm projecting give me a result, a perception, whatever I see. So it does take something. You do have to want to change. You do have to want to transform your world. But don't think you'd be here if you didn't have that desire, because that's what this is all about. And truly, the love that's behind it is it's so otherworldly. It's just so profound. There are moments where you will just be elated and enter this light, this place of light, and I don't know, there's hardly any words for it. It's heaven, really. It's all here buried within you. And as you do this course, you can choose to experience only that. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I hope it helped you to see what the course really is, to reach out to me if you're interested. I have a link tree I can put in the chat right now. you want to look up my works or anything to do with me, monicadubé.com is my website. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you so much.
If you've dropped so much gems to us tonight, our thoughts shapes our reality. And we will walk with that, we will live with that, because we have to be mindful what our thoughts are on a daily basis. And seeing the night that we're talking about mindfulness and kindfulness, we want to be more kind to ourselves with our thoughts, because that's important. So thank you for your time.
Thank you
We
so
value your
much.
time.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for being here.
Thank you.
We're going to toss the mic now to Grace, an amazing woman who is going to talk to us about mindset and all that good stuff. She's amazing. She was on our podcast several times. So, Grace, we're tossing the mic to you.
Hello, everyone. Hello, my name is Grace. Today, I will try my very best just using few minutes to share what I will helping my clients is about transform their life. Today, we are talking about is the kindfulness and the mindfulness. So I know that everyone now in person or in online watching this live, you already get a lot of the information and very helpful for you to change your life. So then for me, because I am a hypnotherapist and a manifestation coach, so I will helping my client is focusing on healing, focusing on forgiveness. So today I would want to share an important pieces of the healing process, forgiveness. Many of the limiting belief we carry as adult is come from our childhood. And also, this is what hypnotherapists always doing in helping the people is they need to understand that what they experienced in the past is that they 100% true and it can apply in your life now? This is a very good question you have to ask yourself, because this limiting belief will shape what you are today. And also those belief actually is by your parents. You without realize it. We carry this belief with us, and they hold us back from living the life we truly want. So the impact of the childhood trauma and limiting beliefs is very, very crucial. Our parents, a lot of love to us, they already did their best. So sometime when you are small, you only listen to your parents. Maybe your parents will tell you that, oh, you are not good enough, or success is hard to achieve. Because they keep saying this to you and make you think that, oh yeah, it's true, right? As a children, we will absorb this idea and they will stay with us. We will rarely pause to ask ourselves, are these beliefs really true? And do they still apply to who we are now? So today, now the first point I want to bring it to you all is, if you always struggle about money, if you always struggle about the relationship with your spouse, with your boss, or with your coworker, you have to pause and think about it, who they look like. Because what our universe always assign the same person, same circumstance to our life is let us to understand something, some lesson. So forgiveness is releasing our past. So how to do it? Most of the people say that when their limiting beliefs come up, they only make them angry and or frustrated. What they always do is will say that, okay, no, forget it. No, they will suppress this feeling. But this is the worst. We will not suppress it. We will let it flow. Let it flow to you, because this is the lesson we have to learn. If you don't learn from it, you will just keep coming up. So once we see that this belief are not true, it's a very natural. If it's very natural to feel angry to our parents, but today I would like you to change this mindset. When you recall your memory, you remember that who your parents, your dad, or your mom telling you that money is difficult to earn. All the money limiting belief is from your mom or dad. What you need to do is you need to sit down, write down all this, the past experience, and then you have to send thank you. Forgiveness is mean that you understand something and then let it go. Because you have to understand that why your mom telling you that money is difficult to earn, maybe because when they are small, their parents, mean your grandmother or your grandfather, also teach your mom or your father like this. So they also have a trauma. So, but your parents is try their very best to raise you, to give you the best food, the best education. So you have to say thank you. Say thank you for them to what they teach you before. And then now you need to let it go. They are all is not belong to you. Now you have a new belief. So what is it? You have to write down what new identity you want to have. This is also is because my education background is counselor and also hypnotherapist and manifestation coach. So that's why I have developed in 6-step transformation system. This is my step 2 is understand your past, get healing. So I know that today we have just a limited time to share this great information with you. So I will encourage you to reflect on the belief holding you back. What belief always come up? Write down and take your time to recall the memory all from this limiting belief. Who talked with you? Who told you that? And ask yourself, is it this one 100% really true and applied to you now? If not, what new identity you want to have? This new identity, what they look like, how they talk, how they act, you have to embrace it. Because as we always say, you become what you think about. Everything begins with an idea. The most important today, I will let you to think about it. You already sitting there almost many hours. So do you have an idea you want to change yourself? How many percentage you will committed to do it? So if you want to learn more about healing, mindset, or just want to get some daily reminder, I will strongly recommend that you can see now my handle at Mindset Coach Grace. You can find all my video in TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. My handle is Mindset Coach Grace. And I'm also the founder of Grace Coaching Hub. So I'm looking. I'm also have a community, yes, to helping the people gather together and learn together, empowering together. So looking forward to see you in one of the Joan and Karen broadcasts.
Thank you, Grace. You always drop great gems and give us great takeaways how we can live our best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're now going to toss the mic to Zion. Mr. Positivity. Hi, Zion.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's such a privilege to be here. I told myself, even though it's late here in Nigeria, it's almost midnight, but I had to be here just to encourage and support my sisters, Lady K and Lady J, for the amazing work they're doing, and for everyone who have been a participant to put this whole event together. You're all amazing. Thank you so much for all you do to make humanity better. Today is all about spreading kindness. And for me, I just want to quickly talk about the reason why positivity is important in our lives. Because one way to spread positivity is to be able to show kindness. And it's important that the world that we live in today is filled with so much negativity already. And if you can be anything, be kind. If you can be anything, be loving. If you can be anything, be compassionate. Because people are going through so much. People are going through a lot. Now, they might not be able to tell you. They might smile over it. But when you get to know people on a personal level, you see they have a lot they are going through. And that's the reason why spreading positivity is not a choice. It's a must. It's a must to spread it to every corner of the earth because people need to hear this message. People need to know about positivity. I love the fact that the speakers before me spoke about mindset, which is very important. Because when your mind is set, your life is set. Everything revolves around your mindset. And wherever you want to do in life, it first starts in your mind. And then it becomes a reality. Positivity for me has become a life. Why? Because it has transformed me from where I used to be to where I am now. And I know it's going to take me from where I am now to where I want to be. Showing kindness is something that is within each and every one of us. Each and every one of us has the ability, has the capacity to show kindness. And kindness, no matter how small, has the power to put smile in people's face, has the power to make a difference, has the power to make a change. For some persons, they would think kindness is by giving money or by, giving hands. Yes, that's part of it. But I tell you, your smile alone can make a huge difference to make somebody to be kind. I will share a quick story with you. Within the week, there's a lady I used to work for, help of fix our electronics. So when I got to her house this week, something just said, give her a hug. I'm like, okay, mom, can I give you a hug? She said, okay. Now, when I gave her a hug, she burst into tears. She was like, Zion, you know what? Since I lost my son 5 years ago, nobody has given me a hug. I was like, oh my God. And I didn't even know she has lost her son because I get to know her nearly. Just giving her a hug, she burst into tears. And that's the first hug she has gotten for the past 5 years. She lost her son. So for you, what somebody needs is just a hug, a smile, a handshake, a kind words to let them know that they are seen, they are being heard, they are important, they are enough, that no matter what they are going through in life, that they can put through. Just kind words can go a long way to make a difference. I just want to encourage us tonight, wherever you are in the world, listen to the sound of my voice. The ability to show kindness is within you. So look inward, be intentional about it, and by spreading more kindness, we can be able to impact the world and make a difference one person at a time. Keep embracing positivity because when you're positive, you are possible. And in positivity, there is endless possibilities for you. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I'll give the mic to you.
Thank you, Zion. You always deliver, you always service well because it enriches every time we enter a space with you. You drop on us, you help us to think. How are we choosing to live life? And like you share your story that the woman just needed a hug, which we can all do. Just give a hug, a kind word. We can make a difference. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you. I think we're now going to focus in the room here. So, this is an amazing woman. The room is yours. In fact, I'm passing it over to you. You're gonna command the room. Good afternoon, Saul. We love you so much.
And I love them. It's impossible not to, right? Thank you guys for being here. I am going to focus on something that I think that a lot of people haven't focused on, and I think it's the process of being mindful, right? I think I'm just going to talk a little bit about how the brain works and actually intakes this information for us to process it and how that works. I want people to be mindful of this because I don't think that a lot understand how our body works, right? And what we go through and why we're overstimulated or why so much of us are dealing with anxiety and all these things. And we're told meditate, and we're told journal, and we're told all these things, but you have no idea what's going on in your body as you're trying to figure it out, right? So I just want to connect it with a few things that a lot of them have already said. But one of them said something about thoughts, right? I just want to reiterate that because it's very important. I just want to say that every thought, though, is connected with emotion. And emotion carries a charge. We're all energy, right? Those charges do something to us inside, and those thoughts are processed. So think about this, especially out here, because I just came and I was overstimulated by New York. I'm from Jersey. I mean, I know that's right there, right? But there's a lot of stimulation over there going on, right? So our brain, as we're looking through everything, right? Our brain is taking in all this information and processing it. Like, so every thought, everything that we see, it's attaching it to something to make it, concrete inside. And that's something that has a memory that we're attached to, right? And then that's a process. Now, if that has an emotion that's attached to it, it goes to the gut, where the emotions are usually released. This is why a lot of people don't understand why we are being sick. It's through this process that we are becoming ill. A lot of people are not understanding the charge that comes behind the thoughts and the emotions that are connected. And just like one of them said, we can't blame our parents, for example, for what they taught us when they were kids, right? Because they were taught something, so they're simply reiterating. So we're kind of in a place where there's a lot of confusion and chaos with how we step and where we going now. Because we got our parents telling us this, we're dealing with the advancement of technology that has definitely surpassed the consciousness that we need to be at to actually live in peace. We're overstimulated at all times, right? Oversaturated with information, a lot of it nonsense. And these are the things that we're all going through. So I just want you to take a moment when they tell us that our brain, right, that we're only using 4% of the brain. It's only on a conscious level, though. We use our brain fully. Our autonomic nervous system takes full control of our body, and it's the reason that we're able to work through everything we work through. But you're not sitting there telling lungs breathe, right? You're not telling your heart, hey, heart, let it beat. Hey, I need a blink that little drop, right? We're not doing it, right? So our body is functioning a little over 90% automatically. And this is the part that we need to be mindful of and act upon in order to change the trajectory of our life. Controlling our nervous system will give us power and being able to move forward in a better way, as long as we understand what we're doing and how we're doing it. There is a purpose in us understanding what's happening in our autonomic nervous system and how that affects our body, so we can understand how to defend ourselves against the 3D world that we're living in. Because the overstimulation of our nervous system is causing havoc on all of us. So breath work, so important at all times. I'm breathing at all times. I do breath work. I mean, I think throughout the day, a million times a day. It's so important. But it avoids a lot of, things from coming in because the energy, I'm very empathic. I feel everything. So the amount of energy coming to me, I gotta breathe through. I gotta breathe. True. You're an empath. True. Breathe deep. Breathe deeply. So that's just a little insight on all that, right? My time got chopped in half, so I'm gonna try to speed it up, just listen a little quicker, right? But basically, all that, I say all that to tell you that you're in complete control once we take back control from what we've already been automated to. Because by the time we're 35, we're already hardwired to those thoughts and processes that our autonomic nervous system has already put in place in order for us to survive. So the important part is us understanding what factors are the ones that are affecting us. If we can take control of that, we can be in control of our life and our health in its totality, right? So that's what I want you guys to be mindful of. You do have control, but there's so much information out there, guys. Please, like, dissect that and try to process it and go to the people that actually know what they're talking about, and somebody that's going to lead you the right way. And remember, we need to go back to plants. Plants. They call me the medicine lady because I love plants and herbs and all that good stuff. Mother Earth put it here for us to use, not these medications that they are oversaturating us with and making us sicker from. They are simply curing a symptom. They are not curing the actual core thing that is happening to us. Needless to say, some people may need that stuff, but most of us don't, because we have the power to be able to heal, you know, and take control of this. And on the kindness act, my favorite quote that I always say is, kindness is contagious, let's infect the world with that.
So we know you always come true. Every time you grace our presence, you come with such a love and such a joy and kindfulness and mindfulness. So every time we're in a space with you, we feel fulfilled. You give us a new sense of purpose, a new sense of living. Because how do we want to live? How do we want to live our daily lives? And how do we want to show up? Because how we show up is what is important. Do we show up with our power? Do we come in our all? What are we coming with when we go into a room? What are we coming with? Are we showing up with everything? So thank you, thank you, thank you. So now we're gonna hit it home to Dr. Marcy.
Marcy, yeah. Dr. Marcy.
We got this amazing moment. She always gives us joy,
Dr. Marcy.
thinking things in the leadership aspect. So Dr. Marcy is going to be here tonight to pour into us how we can lead on all levels. Dr. Marcy,
Hello, everyone. I don't even know what to say. There is so much wisdom in this room. I feel like I'm gonna be tainted a little. But I want to start by saying kindfulness has a personality. Who believes that? It has a personality, and that personality is you. You carry kindness, you're the carrier. And it's not like you carry COVID. It's not like you carry an aroma where you feel that you are yourself. Kindness transports you into another character, let me call it that, into another shape, into another form. And so kindness is felt, it's not spoken.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Of that you do what is inside of you. You cannot give what you don't have. Amen. So kindness cannot be forced. It is really transporting. You are just exchanging something that belongs to you, that you own, that you know, and that's where the mindfulness comes in, because you don't choose to be kind. You live kindness. And even if you're a leader, you understand that you must treat people the way you want to be treated. If the position was reversed, how did you get there? You get there because someone was kind to you. Where did that start? Your mother or your father could have aborted you. They were not. They were kind. And when they were enjoying themselves sometimes, they never thought that something would come out of it that would now be a carrier of that exchange. Because when people exchange love, they are not enemies. their bodies and their minds work in sympathy, and they sing a tune and a song that is very harmonious, even if they become enemies after. But in that moment, kindness is at its highest peak. It's called ecstasy. And that is something that God designed and put together so we can, first of all, lead ourselves. So we are kind to ourselves by knowing what we are about. Our core values dictate the level of kindness, the vibration of kindness that we carry. And so if I'm honest, if I have integrity, if I feel that I must love others unconditionally, that is what I carry. If I feel that I am so important that what I say and my moment is all that matters, then that is what I carry. What do I receive from that? Division, unkindness, lack of trust, lack of respect. That type of exchange comes when we are not mindful of how we are to exchange ourselves so that we add value and we ourselves receive value. That we lift others so we also lift ourselves, and that we honor God, who is really the author and finisher of our faith. And so he says to us, if you are doing it to the least of these, then you have done it unto me. You have epitomized kindness, and you have made me, who created you, fearfully and wonderfully made you, proud. You have now made me live. You have lifted me up, and now I'm able to draw others unto me because I exist in kindness. I love you so much that I gave my life for you. I supported you. I served you. I gave you life through kindness. Kindness, therefore, is who you are. And I'm ending right here. Kindness is your character. Kindness cannot be spoken. It must be felt. When you are mindful of that, you truly live. You honor yourself and you honor others. That is leadership.
Wow, wow, wow. Kindness is something that can be felt. And I think all of us, as a human being, we can resonate with that because we feel when people are kind to us. We feel when people show us love. We feel when people just welcome us into a space. Yeah. It's something that is being felt. And that is something that is so powerful. So if you don't take anything away from this room, whether you're watching online, you're catching us on a replay, remember, extend kindness because it can be felt. Because one day, as you share kindness and people are sharing kindness with you, your family, your friends, your kids, your mother, your father, you will always want them to feel kindness from others. Because you might not be in the space, you might not be in the room, you might not be anywhere, but they're out there doing what they do, and you would hope in your heart with love that somebody is giving them kindness. So if we practice that, it is reciprocated. So let's go out and give kindness. We're gonna have the two sisters. Two amazing sisters in the room.
Yes.
Who's going to explain to us and share with us all the good things of love, mindfulness.
Hi. Hey, girls.
Welcome.
I'm a co-founder of One Shot Lady, and I'm an astrologer, and I teach people the psychology behind marketing. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about what it takes to create a growing environment, and what a growing environment really is. Because it's our job to change the people, how it is that they get to their goals. And a lot of times people want to focus on that, what they want to reach, but the important thing about what it is that people really need to focus on is what it takes to continue taking action. And a lot of the time, we want to continuously take action towards things, but what it really takes to maintain that character is for you to rest and for you to maintain what it is that you feel. And so a lot of the times, the people that we take action with, these will be groups of people, people who we work with, who are our colleagues, who we consider our equals. They continue to take action towards things, but at this point in time, when you've reached your goal, it's time for you to rest. It's time for you to understand that yes, after you've reached your goal, it's time for you to reflect. Because your perspective has now changed. That man who went out to chop down that tree, to make that house, to make that home, to make that paper, now has to stop. And he has to rest, because if he doesn't, what's going to happen is his perspective is not going to change. And he's going to think that the work that he took and the work that he's done to build that one home, he needs to still continue to make this home. But this home might not be this great. I need to make it bigger. I need to make it better. And all reality, if you stop chopping down the tree and you turn around and you look to see all the beautiful things that were already there before you chop the tree down, you'll realize that you're not the only person that's growing. You're not the only person that's taking action. A lot of other people are. Wow. And if you want to be a tree, then you can be a tree. But if you want to be an abundant forest, then it's time for you to rest.
I think somebody said something.
So I'm also one of the co-owners of One Shot Made, and I'm also a cannabis and culinary chef, and one of the owners of Thank God It's Vegan, which is how we actually met the two beautiful sisters, showing up at an e-commerce event as Thank God It's Vegan, and showing up as our authentic selves as well. So one thing I want to talk about when it comes to kindfulness and mindfulness is to establish that you have to have character, right? The character is your core, and that's your spiritual currency. That's something that's going to be beautiful throughout different energies, because when you die, it's not the ending of life, it's just the ending of one form of energy. Everything will transfer, but one thing that stays constant is the work that you've done, the character that you worked on. As they said, what you can feel. When we walked into this room, it was a feeling, right? That kindness wasn't something that was just, okay, you can see it right away. It was something you felt in your soul, something that you can experience. And you only get that when people are showing up authentically as their selves. The same way your mother could tell you, no, baby, not today. And you understand she still loves you, even though that was a boundary there. You understand? That's the character. That doesn't mean that there's no love because you didn't feel that she was so kind or anything else, but that's just the character, because with every step and every part of our life, let's think of ourselves as an onion. Right now, the root is the kindness and the mindfulness for all of us, right? But we're all different layers of that onion. And every time you peel back a layer, there is a protective shield with every layer, but you have to still get to the core of it because it still has the same root. Wow. Right? So with that,
That's beautiful.
we have to be thinking. We have to be kind and mindful, not just to others, but to ourselves. And that comes from us doing the work, taking the time to rest. So I love to think about something as simple when I tell people I love how she said plants. I tell people I have my own plants in my window. It reminds me to really take the time, because throughout your life, you see the seasons. Nothing is going the same way during every season, right? Even the sun gotta go down, right? Even the leaves of a tree fall, but they grow back. And everything has its time and everything has a layer to it, but there's still that root. And that root for us is always going to be our character. As long as you work on that, it won't be too much for you to be kind. It won't be too much for you to be mindful, because you would have already accessed it with yourselves. I can sit here and say that I know all of you and I love all of you because I've taken the time to know me. True. And I'm taking the time to choose like me. So I know that there's no one in this room that will harm me because I have no feelings of harm towards myself. And if all of you were reflections of me, then I know that when I look around, you reflect that. Right? So I want us to leave today with knowing that your character is your currency. That's your spiritual currency. That's going to carry you anywhere. When you came into this world and you were naked, you was enough, right? I've been through times where I had nothing, lost everything. This was about 2022, both of us. And the only thing we had was our character. At a time where women were sitting there and they like, oh my goodness, I'm homeless right now. I'm in a situation and I feel attacked. I'm looking at it as, wow, I'm in a place that's my temporary home right now and I feel safe. So the people that is around me, they're here to help me. And there's no reason that they would have any ill intent towards me if I had no ill intent towards them. So it's about the perspective, and you can only build a certain type of perspective if you are true to your character. My character is, I'm Denisha Johnson, right? I represent things God is doing. And that's no matter what situation. When I was homeless, I was still Denisha Johnson from Thank God Is Vegan. I came here with my books, our lotions for those beautiful ladies. We donated it because even though you're in a situation, understand your situation has variables. It's always going to be ever changing. But one thing you stay true to is you. And you yourself are ever-changing. And you have every piece and every part of you. That's where the onion comes in. Because again, you still have the same root. No matter how much you peel back, you get to the core.
Wow, amazing.
Wow. Can we give them another round of applause?
Yes.
Share is so we all share. Share is so profound. You touch us. When you talk about the onions and the layers and all that good stuff and our currency. Our currency. That's powerful.
The stuff you can feel. Now what can you see? Because when you're naked, you were perfect just the way you were when you were born. So why do we let the world and everything else in between that teach us that we're not? Your character is enough. You're just learning to be more of you. You never fault a tree for growing. It's important to be kind and mindful of others, but you can only do that when you're kind and mindful of yourself, truly and authentically. So let's give ourselves
Of course. Let's give ourselves grace. Because when we show ourselves grace, love, and compassion, we can rise. Even though we can fall, we have the level of knowing who we are. As you said, I am Miss Johnson. And whether you are falling or you are up, or wherever you are, whatever state of life you're in, whatever part of that onion that is being peeled, whatever layer it is, show yourself grace. Thank you. We have another amazing woman, Nay.
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're wearing an amazing color. You're shining in this room. Bless us with your thoughts and your perspective.
Thank you. Behind these beautiful sisters is so encouraging. Sometimes they say when God speaks to you, you have to deliver your message. And you just sat here and I'm going to say prophesy to so many of us because you don't know what each person in this room is going through. Something that you has made someone feel whole as their onion. That you have to peel back. I was telling Jesse just a few minutes ago, even though I'm the CEO of my own business, I like to be in the background. I like to be in the trenches and I like to, do hands-on stuff. I hate being out front. I put people out front to talk for me, but in this era, God is telling me, I need you to be up front. I need people to see who you are. I need them to hear your story, and I need them to see not only are you beautiful on the inside as well as the outside, but you have to speak and show other people how beautiful that they are. A lot of society has us now thinking that we have to be naked and show everything to make a man love us. And that's not true. We can go outside just like this, and somebody is gonna look at us and say, she's not showing 90% of her body. She's not, oh, wait a minute. Now they're talking to you and they're saying, oh, she has her head on her shoulders. She's educated. She's speaking. Like, she's not out there cursing and telling people, oh, you this and you that. No. I have a story. I'm not sure if I, shared it with Jane, the beautiful sisters. But I was in the military half my life. I spent 13 years and 9 months serving. Being in the military, it breaks you down. It takes out of you what God gave you, because it turns you into something. It turns you into a beast.
Yes.
And even though I grew up in the Bronx, born and raised in New York, I live in Harlem now, but it puts you in a different mindset. It puts you in a different thought pattern. It's like I went to war, I did 2 tours, and it's like, okay, now I have to protect me. I was nervous. I was scared because I'm like, I'm just a girl from New York. What I know about shooting a gun, what I know about protecting myself other than using my fist. That's all we did growing up. You fight. No one taught you how to use a gun, which guns are not safe because right now they're taking everybody's lives, which I hate. With that being said, being deployed and going into other countries, it allowed me to meet different people, learn different cultures, and see how beautiful the world is. Media teaches us how to hate other people and hate other nationalities and hate other countries. But me, when I was there, I learned to love. I used what my mom instilled in me, my grandmother instilled in me, and that was the kindness and the mindfulness. Not only receiving it, but how to give it. And that's what brought me home. That's what brought me home. I can be dressed down, wrapped up in every which way. And the guards would be like, oh, Smalls, is that you? And I would like, shoot my thumbs up, and they'd be like, all right, come on, let's go. But coming out of that, I had to wear baggy pants, a baggy jacket, look dirty, can't feel like a woman. And when I got out in 2018, I decided, I said, you know what? I'm not ugly, I'm beautiful. I have to show the world how beautiful we are. So I said, oh, I can get back into doing makeup. I can get back into being a girl. I can change my hair colors. I can be pink one day and blue the next day if I wanted to. And in 2023, toward the end, I decided, hey, I have a passion for doing makeup. I was told by someone, makeup is just a facade to hide all the hurt and the pain from the world. And I said, you know what, you're right. But that facade is also, it gives people confidence. It gives people the sense of being beautiful. Or, so every time I beat a face, or every time, as y'all can say. Every time I meet a face or, I speak to a customer, I speak to people, I speak life into them. I met the sisters just going through a event at Jacob Jackson, and I stopped at their table, and we just had a moment, and I started prophesying, and she was like, hold on, wait a minute, let me get my sister, you gotta tell me this again. And I was like, okay, let me make sure I get it right. He said, I said, God said, and from that moment, it was like, I told him, I said, don't give up on what y'all doing, because y'all making an important impact in people's lives. Giving them mindfulness and kindness is something that we all need. There's so much hate in this world today that the little tidbits and the little love that we can drop on people, it makes a bigger difference. And as long as we keep giving that love to people, and y'all keep giving y'all energy, as you said, I'm very spiritual. I believe in God. I believe in higher power. Keep giving, keep giving. God is gonna put them y'all in different places. And this is what I told them, and it's like, oh my God, it's like, stand fast, because it's hard. Even for me, in trying to get into a $1 billion industry, it's hard for me. I'm just a young Black girl from the hood that has a dream. And my dream, I know, if I stand fast and I go through these challenges every day with building my brand, I will be in Sephora. I will be in that. To the young women. Now, I work for the city. I house homeless veterans on a daily basis. And I'm seeing more and more younger female veterans that's coming through my agency. And when they come through my agency, I grab onto them and I say, whatever you're going through in your lifetime, it's just a stepping stone to what God has in store for you. Do not let this break you. True. This will make you. And I tell everyone that my story is a little deeper. I need to write a book, but my therapist said it doesn't matter where I start my book from, as long as I write it. So I can start from right now, and I can start from the beginning. And I encourage everyone that as well. If you have a story, put it out there, because you never know how to help the next person in life. Again, my name is May Smalls. I'm the CEO of Joan and Charles Beauty. I will pass on my card to everyone so y'all can, and I created my own lipstick line within 30 days. It's called Ladies of My Life, and it's named after 9 influential women that's in my life, or that was in my life. Crafted by me to each person's personality. So yes, when I pass on my cards, I have a QR code on there. Y'all can scan the code and take you straight to my website. And y'all can see it. But thank you.
Thank you, May. Thank you so much.
And I had a whole speech that I wrote. I didn't even get it, so I just spoke from my heart.
Yes, that is so beautiful, because it's coming from within. Wow, you really dropped, you inspired us. Each speaker continues to inspire us. And what you told us in this moment is, your situation does not define you who you are. And don't let what happened to you in life beat you down. You can always rise up. You can you can come back. And when you're coming back, you're not coming back on a blank slate, because you're coming back with experience. You're coming back with new wisdom. How you can, right, thank you, Dr. Mercy. You're coming back with a new level of mindset. And you have to stop and think, well, who am I going to choose to be in this moment? And what am I going to become after this? when you rise in here, and so you reinvent yourself, you find a level of resiliency, and you walk boldly, and you know who you are with self-assurance, self-love, self-awareness, and leaning into your inner wisdom. Because when you lean into your inner wisdom and lean into your intuition, you can stand tall because you're sure of who you are. And nobody, no matter what anybody else say about you, doesn't matter because you're sure of who you are. Remember that, believe in yourself.
Yes,
We
we're gonna
toss
have
the mic to
Michelle Ramos. I don't know if she's still in the house.
Wow.
Yeah, she's here. Hi, Michelle. How you doing?
Oh my God, how could I not be here?
I know.
So I have a timer set. Let me go ahead because this is not my first time getting to be in the presence of these beautiful women. So we know it can definitely go many ways. So I have definitely constructed something to stay on track. What I want to start with is just thank you for this opportunity to speak. We all know this is something that is so deeply aligned with my journey. The kindfulness and the mindfulness of every aspect of life is critical. And thank you for making kindfulness a word. When someone asks what I do, when I describe myself, it's a cathartic catalyst. I am someone I want to spark healing and change by embracing the vulnerability and helping others transform struggles into resilience. I have an organization. It's called Don't Raise Statistics. We are dedicated to turning dire statistics into stories of empowerment. We especially are focused on marginalized, communities where systemic injustices just they fester. We'll just leave it up there. I currently am facing legal battles that they slow down my ability to expand Don't Raise Statistics to the global level I want in the timing I want. But that's one part of the resiliency is learning what you can and you cannot control. So through that, I stay focused on my advocacy and just community-driven change. With that, I love engaging in conversations that go to legal advocacy and awareness, mental health and wellness initiatives, community building, strategic planning. And with strategic planning, I truly prefer preventive measures over post-relief operatives. So definitely don't be scared by the link in about me saying that I'm invaluable and priceless, because those conversations are the ones no money will pay for. With that being said, I do want to just definitely make sure that besides thanking Lady K and Lady J and Tommy for what they do with such a diverse and inclusive platform that allows vulnerability, we have Keith Cooperman. I do so much with him from, he is with Adaptive Strategies Group. We are working on I Can Flip the Script, building a podcast. We status quo, those controversial conversations. We have the Level Up Academy. They're amazing. Dr. CJ, we just published a book, Rebel with a Cause. Obviously, that gives you a little insight into my background. We got Hounds of Business. Mike's amazing. We did a soft launch with Miss Noni of OZK Studios. So that still has a few things that can't be publicly discussed, but definitely keep watching out for that. Now, with that said, we're going to turn to my notes because, I'm following some amazing human souls already. And so I just want to highlight what they had said before I turn to what I prepared for my perceptions of the kindfulness and mindfulness. So first of all, with Lady K and Lady J, like everything I took from y'all, like it took up multiple cards. It's the one thing that really resonated is, and we've discussed this, is for myself, why not me? And didn't get here overnight. Do you? It's not selfish. It's selfless. And you have got to learn to be selfless. Selfless and selfishness are so completely different. And there is no time frame. I remember one of our most amazing conversations with the both of you, and it's that there's no destination. You have to stop and realize that you need to live in the moment, because yesterday happened. We can't change it. And we're not promised tomorrow. We only have today and right now in this moment. And what are you doing to give back? What are you doing to be the one where your words are aligning with your actions? And then another huge one that you guys have taught me is within the legacy and the resilience. It's that sisterhood and family does not mean your blood. And although you two are blood, you graciously open your arms and bring us in and help us feel like we have a family. And for that, I am beyond grateful to have a sisterhood and mentors, a family that you know there's no judgment, you can be vulnerable, and that it will not be weaponized against you. Like, that's special. And I am so thankful for that opportunity. And then Stephen, like, you know, they're all great, but I can't keep going. He owes me a skydiving date though. You know, I 5 minutes to go. What I want to really draw attention to is that nobody's discussed when the kindfulness and the mindfulness are weaponized against you. And that is something that I just think is a really important thing, because you need to be fully present in the moment, and you need to be aware of your thoughts and your feelings and your surroundings without judgment. But what if you take it a step farther? What if it's in those moments that you are being full within your authenticity, but it's the outside that is now weaponizing that greatness against you? It's real life and it happens, and I'm living proof of it. But you got to trust that you have it in yourself to not allow it to change who you are. Stay true to yourself. Remain with your authenticity, walking those steps of your integrity. Sometimes you're going to have to misalign paths, because when it comes to that mindfulness and that kindfulness, there might be a point of just deception where it doesn't align, and that's okay. That's part of not judging others. Everybody's entitled to it. But true respect creates a space for your emotions. You have to remember that. And these are things that can be taken advantage of. And you cannot disrespect. It can be a form feeling dismissive or controlling. There's no controlling mindfulness and kindfulness. It's free flowing. It naturally happens. It's like the speaker previously said, that you don't learn love, you experience it. It's in you. And you also need to check on your own emotional responses, because somebody else said that about the mirroring. What you reflect is what you're going to project. And that's critical. But then it gets to the most important part, which is you have to use your voice to claim your boundary. And it's never, ever, in my own personal experience, been the boundary that has been hard to do. It has been enforcing the boundary and having enough self-respect and self-worth to say, no, enough is enough. This is who I am, and this is how it needs to be. And you really finally just need to recognize that the manipulation, it can be disguised as mindfulness. If someone constantly shifts responsibility back onto you trying to use mindfulness, that is really manipulation. And when you're authentic, you need to protect your energy, and you need to protect who you give access to, because not everybody has the right intention at heart. But in the end, you got to serve as though you're empowering yourself. Don't silence you. Speak. Do it kind. Do it respectfully. Do it mindfully. Is what you're going to say today going to affect you in 10 years? Think about that, because that's how I think. I think not just next year or 5 years. Is this going to come back in 10, 15 years. It matters. The tongue can hurt somebody quicker than anything else can hurt somebody. And I'm probably about to run out of time and I didn't even get to everything. But this is just such an honor. And I am so grateful, Lady K, Lady J, Tommy, all your hard work, everybody listening. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I don't know what to do. Should I keep talking? Because it's about to ding. Oh. I mean, I could keep talking. I'm sure that will happen. Really what I was going to take it to that I probably didn't say is, in my own personal, space, kindfulness, it's been critical. Look, there's my alarm telling me I hit it. Kindfulness for me it's been critical just for self-growth because I had to learn how to start being kind to myself. I had to learn that I was allowing myself to be projecting what I was feeling. There's so much like the inner child, healing all of it. That is all so true and so accurate and real because why not me? Why not me be the one to break the generational traumatic patterns? Why not me be the one to create a ripple effect that is through my adversities and my struggles that maybe my daughter or future generations won't have to experience it? But you can't do that with a bitter heart because then everything that you put out there is going to, in return, just be toxic or just come back with just some bad vibe. Because what I've learned is that when you put out good, good will come back, but it comes back in the most disguised, unsought ways that make it so genuine and so impactful because sometimes you really have to just sit back and say, did I really just achieve this? Or did I feel this? And then it's remembering that you're worthy of it. Because when you're giving kindness and when you're being mindful, it's very easy to be doing it for the outside, but to forget about yourself. Are you being mindful to yourself? Are you being kind with your thoughts and your actions to yourself? And thank goodness I've built the support and the village I have because they give me that reality check. And there you guys are. Yes. I hope that was not too much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And you have inspired us. So keep doing what you want. We're proud of you. And we love you.
And we love you.
We're now going to pass the mic to
Tom
Thompson.
Tommy Thompson.
Talk for about 5 minutes and then we're going to hand the mic over to Betty.
Tom? We're not hearing you.
Okay, I had to turn myself back on.
Hi.
I'm behind the side. Yeah, I'm okay. There'll probably be people and cats and all kinds of things going on behind me, but that's okay. That's real life. They wanted me to talk. I'm a recovery coach, but my main thing is that I've got 27 years clean and sober. And before anybody congratulates me, I started coming to 12-step programs 14 years before that, 1983. So if there's any lesson I can convey, keep trying. If you're alive, there's an opportunity for a spirit, higher power, whatever you care to call it, the Holy Spirit, to work in your life and deliver you. It might be a hard road, and I certainly had that. But I just want to share a couple of things. There's a great truth. And I remember I was going to some 12-step meetings, and I'm not supposed to identify the program because this is we just don't do that at the level of press, radio, film, and this qualifies. There was an old guy named Ernie at this club close to downtown Indianapolis. And he was a great big guy, about 300 pounds, florid face. This dude would wear like a white shirt and bib overalls in downtown Indianapolis and these great big clodhopper shoes, And he would look at me and listen to my BS. And he would look at me and smile and go, "You ain't done drinking till you're done drinking." And then he would go in the meeting and basically say the same thing. I thought he was a redneck idiot. What I found out later was a great tautology, a great universal truth. You're not done until you're done. Because you won't, whether it's addiction, alcoholism, whatever it is, you will not stop until you're ready to go to any length and you're ready to surrender. It took me a long time. And I had 5 years in at one time, and I blew that. And there were some major consequences. And what I have found was a 12-step program, how my father and my brother quit through their faith and their religious beliefs in our church. And when I talked to both of them, I found that a lot of the core values and the things they did to stay sober and clean, and my old man was something else, man. I can't even describe it, but he was a hardcore alcoholic. And then he quit one day and started going to church. And if you knew him, it was just impossible to believe. And he went from being an angry drunk, he came from Tennessee, and it would be impossible. So that brings me to my point of a truth that for me, there needs, if you were at the level of addiction and alcoholism I was, there has to be a spiritual solution, because the disease is physical, emotional, mental, but primarily it's spiritual. I am going to have to mute you, Lady K. But I hope I haven't gone over my 10 minutes already. But one of the things we have to do is find acceptance and then do an inventory. I had no idea who I was. I had no idea what the truth was. And that's why having somebody lead you through really helps during the 12-step process. And one that, particularly for hardcore addiction, whether it's meth, heroin, anything along those lines, heroin, the biggest indicator is trauma, particularly for women. Take someone like my redhead who's been sober now for 31 years. They're just tremendous trauma in her life. And the fact that she overcame that and has a life now and is the loving person she is incredible. And I get to live with her. She inspires me every day. And one of the things we're taught is something that they've spoken about several times here. Be kind to yourself. Be mindful, your mindfulness, but also live in the moment. Live in today. It seemed like most of my time was either living in the past or fear of the future or great delusions about the future, how great it was going to be once this, that, and the other thing happened. And another thing that puts so many of us out there, and that was me in and out for 14 years, is self-sabotage. Because self-sabotage is a place that makes sense to us. if I wreck my life and wreck myself and destroy my relationships, my job, whatever, mess the money up, then I can go into a negative spiral and use it again, inevitably. That was my pattern, and it's so many other people. And the other thing is to continue what works. If it's working for you, keep doing it. I think that's all I need to say.
Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You are the best. You're truly an amazing person. We truly appreciate you as a friend, as a teacher, as a one who always guides us in various ways. So thank you.
And we now
hand the mic over to the Bati. Thank you for being here. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a true honor.
Yeah, so thank you all for coming to this Mindfulness and Mindfulness community in New York City. This is kind of my dream coming true. That's because I have started a global mission calling every country a mindful and kind nation. Starting from Canada, and officially I call Canada a mindful and kind nation. So I have registered that name as a non-profit organization, and I continue doing kindful, mindful programs across Canada, also across the United States and some other countries, the European countries and also in Asia. I think because of one virtual kindfulness program we had, that we got to know Joan and Karen.
Yes.
3 years ago.
Yes, exactly.
3 years ago. And somehow we got kindfully connected. We got kindfully connected, and we had this the LinkedIn connection. We had LinkedIn communication, conversation, and that led to have me on your one of the podcasts.
Yes.
And then when I got to know about these beautiful sisters, now I see that they are commenting miracle sisters. So I can call kindful miracle sisters. And that made me to invite them to speak at one of my annual Kindful Canada Symposium, the conference on mental health and kindfulness. It was during the COVID time, 2 years ago. And I wish I had both of you in person.
Yes.
But that day I gave it live on YouTube and Facebook, and I read comments and I received feedbacks. The audience across the world were very inspired of these two sisters and what they do, and what the insights and motivation, the inspiration they are giving to the people. And I think, and because of that kindful connection, we happened to meet last year
Yes, yeah.
at one of my relatives' house in Brooklyn.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And Karen and Karen's husband. Actually, today I couldn't recognize him.
He looks different.
Yeah. The last one I had the bald head.
Yeah.
So both of them came to see me, and I said, "No."
I was virtually, yes.
You virtually, yeah. We had quick
Good conversation virtually, yeah.
And then this time, when I was coming to New York for a big ceremony held yesterday, and I wrote to Karen that I'm coming to Yankee City. And if you like, maybe we could have a kindfulness, mindfulness session. And they said, yes, Bante, we would like to have it here. And so as a result of that, today we are having this. It's a beautiful theme.
Yes.
I love it. Mindfulness and mindfulness in New York City. Right? So I'm very happy to be here, and also I'm very happy to see all our friends who told us powerful stories, and our friends here, speakers here, and shared your beautiful wisdom. And as I listen to your story, you have already become kindful and mindful. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to force you to become mindful. You have already become such people. And so now, because of that, I also published a book called Are You Kindful? And how your practice of kindfulness can build a happy and peaceful nation. And I think although I'm a Buddhist monk, but I'm not here to make people become a monk. I'm not here to convert people to Buddhism. I have just embraced all people for who they are and how they live. It's not about forcing people to become me, but I have embraced all people around the world as my family. I have a personal belief. People around the world are connected to me. They are like my family members. Like I can't find anyone who has not been my mothers, my fathers, my brothers, my sisters, my sons, my daughters, my wives, my husband, my aunts, my uncles, my friends, my colleagues, my neighbors. Now, if I have this tendency to hurt someone, then immediately I feel like, no, I'm actually hurting my own mother.
Right.
How could you hurt your own mother who gave birth to you? And immediately, your perspective changes. So, and I want to see people around the world are living happily and peacefully, without fighting, without hurting, without harming anyone. So I think this has been my nature, even my childhood. I was told by my cousin brothers and sisters, my friends in my little village. I'm coming from Bangladesh. I was born there. And then I became a monk at the age of 10. Then my monastic teacher, actually, who is becoming 100 next month. He's Syrian. So he sent me to Sri Lanka, and from there then I moved to Canada. So in my childhood, they said there was a story. Some of my friends rushed to kill a frog, and then when I saw them taking sticks to kill the frog, I rushed to them. I said, "What are you doing?" They said, "We want to kill this frog." I said, "Why?" So I said, "No, you can't kill this frog." So I took the frog. I said, "No, this is my frog. He's my brother, my family member, and your brother, your family member. Please don't hurt him. Just let it be. Just let it be." So I saved the life of that frog from killing my friends. And maybe that is like I have a heart for all sentient beings, and I don't want people to hurt other beings. And in my childhood, I have good memories. Like my own grandfather, my mother's father. I didn't get to see my father's parents. They died before I was born. So my grandfather, mother's side, he was the first human being that I met. What I'm teaching now, that's the teaching I have seen in his action. Like he was a vegetable farmer. And I remember going to vegetable farms and being with him, and I have seen how on the way back home, going to some houses and dropping some vegetables for the families. And then I was kind of curious. And then I asked that question from my grandpa. I said, "Grandpa, why are you doing this?" The grandson, "These people are going through some difficult times. We have abundance. And we have a moral obligation to be there for those who are less privileged, to give them a helping hand to raise them to the top, creating the light in their life, creating the hope in their life."
Yeah.
And then I think I was like 7, 8-year-old boy then. So but then when I became a monk at the age of 10, under teacher, who's becoming 100 next month. And this monk actually spent all his life helping people. He built many shelters in Bangladesh. Because of that, government of Bangladesh gave him the highest medal, honored him with the highest medal. And then he saw children struggling in the underprivileged parents' families. And he brought them to these shelters. And because of his kindness and generosity, today thousands of people, the kids, they've grown up, now they're having the best life. They're doing amazing. And even including myself, if my teacher did not take the action to make me a monk, I don't think today I would be a monk and standing before you today. And I have also seen great thing in my mother's action. Like you have talked about the personality, the character, currency, and all these things. My own mother has very beautiful smile. And wherever she goes, she will just greet everyone, even the people she doesn't know. And she's like, "How are you doing?" And then I hope you're doing okay. And okay, be one. You just smile, be one. You know? And I love you. Be one. Everything will be all right. Right? So then I asked that question from my mother. I said, why are you talking to these strangers? Then she said, "Son, they are not strangers. They are our family. So wherever you go, you have to treat everyone like your family." So that teaching actually got stuck in my heart. And then when I went to Sri Lanka, my other higher ordination monastic teacher, he actually lived 105 years, highly respected by Sri Lankan residents and all Sri Lankans. And he spent all his life with one mission. If I translate that into English, that would be it's a kind of slogan. Slogan. Like how when you march out outside, how you have slogans. So he had this slogan. In the English translation would be, "Without fixing the man, the country cannot be fixed. Therefore, let's fix the man, let's fix it." So he, when he said, it's not just the man, he said, when he meant man, is everyone. Okay? So I was highly taken by this mission. And then in Sri Lanka, we remember, even as a teen month, I was part of that group, going to hospitals, helping the patients, doing some chanting, giving them healing energy to recover, and distributing the milk tea and some healthy cookies. So I have been doing that for 10 years. And then I would go to different schools to do mindfulness sessions. And then I would just tell all the students, if you have a new or used pair of shoes or clothes, or even a pen or pencil, or an exercise book, just bring one. So then all the students would bring one or two. So now imagine 1,000 students bring 1,000 items. So then we collect all this. Then we would just go to rural areas, poor areas, and we just distribute these items to the poor students. So we have been doing that for 11 years. Then when I moved to Canada in 1994, now you know my age. So there, I started doing suki. That what happened was in 1995, I went to downtown Toronto to do an evening meditation for a group of students. There was a school called Toronto School of Eastern Medicine. So there were about 50 or 52 students, 7 to 9. And then after meditation, when I was walking to the parking lot with my friend, we saw some people, the young people lined up for something. So they were lined up for the LCBO. You know that, right? LCBO is the alcohol where people can buy alcohol wines. In Canada, it's called LCBO, right? So there is I asked my friend Troy, why these young people lining up here? Like, do you see that? And what is it? It's alcohol and wine. I said, Troy, we have to do something. So we cannot preach, right? We cannot force people. So we can create some program. So I started organizing soup kitchens to feed the homeless people. And then, I would, whoever I know, I would just encourage them to come together, and we would prepare food for 500 to 600 homeless people. Very full meal. So we would go to a church. We would go to Good Shepherd Center at a church in downtown Toronto. That's where the homeless people come for meals. And we go there, prepare the meals, and we serve them. After serving the meals to the homeless people, these young people's behavior and thinking and attitude started changing. So I still continue doing the soup kitchen and share care program every year, couple of times a year. And during the winter time, we prepare care packages. I collect these items, winter items, from my students. And with people, we just walk on the streets of downtown Toronto. And then just distribute the care packages to the homeless people. So then I also kept doing the student counseling at the University of Toronto. And then I continued doing the spiritual counseling. Even now I continue doing every day. So I have listened to so many stories. Like, young people, adults, people from all walks of life, all ages. And after listening to their stories, and I would just show my kindness. I would just encourage them to meditate and do one little act of kindness every day. And then guess what? Those who were suicidal, they are still living. Wow. Those who were about to commit suicide, after coming to me, they became the healthy people. Now they have become motivational speakers. Yes. And now they tell this story. I'm still living because of this man. Wow. So we have been featured. We have been featured by Canadian National TV. Month of January is the mental health awareness in Canada. And so we have been featured by CBC and CTV National News. Even you can find the news, the stories online. And then I have been testing this word, kindfulness, this concept, throughout many speaking engagements across the world. And so then when I explain, people love it. So this word kindfulness, actually originally it was coined by a funny British Buddhist monk living in Australia. And then when I read that, he actually authored a book on that. When I read that word, it actually touched my heart. So I used this word to bring a positive change in the world, calling every country a mindful and kind nation. So it's coming towards kindness, and mindfulness is called kindfulness. So this is a kind of a therapy for the people. And I'm just telling people, okay, embrace kindfulness in 2 steps. The first step is be mindful to be kind to yourself, right? Self-care. Loving yourself is very important. And then next step is be mindful to be kind to others. And so if we can when we use the word mindfulness, it is all about remembering. Always remember. Never forget. In other words, never forget to be kind to yourself during difficult times. And at the same time, be mindful to be kind to others wherever you go. So even now, when I travel, when I walk, I meet people. I always smile with people because we had a laughter session, right? So we smile. You have to smile from here is not enough. You have to smile from the heart. Right? Yeah. So then people love it. People love it. And then I'm encouraging people to do one act of kindness every day. Just one. Now, if we are being mindful to do one act of kindness a day, how many days a year? 365. Now, every time you do an act of kindness every day, and if you continue doing that every year, then there will be many more acts of kindness. Then your life is going to be changing. You become kinder, and you also make people kinder. Through kindness and mindfulness, you make other people's life brighter. So, and happier. So I think this is a very difficult time of the world. And I said, this is the solution. This is the medicine. This is the therapy we all need. So I know we don't have much time because I have actually a lot of stories, a lot of things but today I'm just kindly grateful to Karen and Joan for organizing this Kindfulness, Mindfulness event in New York City with all of you. You all are amazing people. I highly respect you and I deeply love you. I care for you. Please just continue being who you are, doing whatever you're doing right now. This is what we all need. So with this in mind, normally I sing, I don't know, do we have 1 or 2 minutes?
Sing.
Yeah.
Sing.
So we can, this would be a truly a meaningful, kindful and mindful evening if we can sing this together. It's very simple. It's a may I be well, may I be happy, may I be peaceful, may I be free. And then may you be well, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be free. Then may all be well, may all be happy, may all be peaceful, may all be free. So we can sing it together. Right? Maybe you can, all of you are good singers, I know. Maybe you can join me, right?
Yes.
May I be well, may I be happy, may I be peaceful, may I be free. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be free. May all be well, may all be happy, may all be peaceful, may all be free. Thank you so much. And if you like to know more about the Kindfulness principle and the stories, I would like people to read this book.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you're such an amazing person, you're someone who inspired all of us all the time. We are truly honored in this moment that you took the time to be here with us. And for that, we'd just like to give you a small token of our book as well.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. And also, I also got this book as a gift.
This is for you.
We exchanged the book.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody go take a picture of us. Somebody go take a picture of us.
Okay, so let's take a picture of this.
Yeah.
Can someone help?
Yes.
Maybe we can hold the book and.
Yes.
Ready? 1, 2. One more. 1, 2. All right.
So this is my
That's yours. Yes, that's yours. Let's all get a group picture. Let's get here. Okay. Start up right here. To get the light.
Oh, okay.
Come inside. Who has to do? You gotta get one. Jesse, you wanna get a group picture, but somebody gotta take it. Mr. Ed, you wanna be the one to take the picture? We gotta send the pictures out. Yeah.
Huh?
Can you take the camera? Mr. Ed, yes.
Can I take it?
I mean, you gotta come in.
Must be ground.
Everybody in?
Oh, yes, perfect. Yeah, you get in there. Yep, he coming right in too. All right, let's say kindfulness and mindfulness.
Kindfulness and mindfulness.
That's a beautiful picture. All right, let me.
You gotta go.
No, you also have to be, all of you have to be, maybe you have to take a picture.
Yeah, she can come inside of the me. Oh. We all gonna get pictures. We gonna take our turns. Come on. Yeah. Kindfulness and mindfulness. Kindfulness and mindfulness. All right. All right. Who else pictures now? You get it.
We'll take one.
Oh, okay.
Can you take a picture of everybody once we get in there?
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
Go to the center, come to the center. Good boy.
Can you see us all?
Yeah.
All right.
Count us down.
2.
Very good.
Or you have to pull it
I can see myself on the board. I can see myself.
Embracing each other with so much love and kindness.